love me some CC Peniston. That still goes down as my favorite album, probably of all time. I just love listening to it. It's still going strong. But anyway, I want to talk to you all about, or welcome to the Sci-Fi Express Lane. My name is Jeff Carroll, and I'm a science fiction writer, filmmaker, comic book dude. Anyway, and this is my blog. I just talk junk. So anyway, I want to talk a little junk about the future of sex, right? I'm also Yo Jeff, the hip-hop dating coach, and I began that journey sort of after I made a movie called Gold Digger Killer, and which in the movie I explored revenge, not necessarily blatant revenge, but a revenge for a era that I felt was coming to a head, right? And, you know, it's like pimples. You know, you say, all right, the pimple's going to get worse when it comes to a head. I just felt that men and women had players and gold diggers going at war with each other. Who's first? The player, the gold digger, the player, whatever. And it had been so toxic that I felt that it would come to a head, meaning, you know, a player would do some crazy stuff or a gold digger would do some crazy stuff, and it would be a war. So I just had we just went through this Lorena Bobbitt thing maybe a few years ahead, and that was in my head, right? So I thought, oh my God, what if a woman becomes a serial killer, and not just a serial killer, but a victimized woman becomes a serial killer and targets men that are disrespectful to women? Because normally players go out and get innocent women and they 2-time them, 3-time them, play them to the side, use them for sex and keep it moving. And gold diggers go after dudes that are nice guys per se. They may be schmucks when it comes to general life, but for the most part, they are, you know, guys with money. I'm not gonna say they're all nice guys, but for the most part, they're nice. Because really, players don't go for gold diggers, and gold diggers can't dig no gold out of player. And if they do cross paths, bravo, because they're two predators, and let them hurt each other up. However, in this story, Gold Digger Killer, I was saying, wow, what if a gold digger gets raped and she goes all out, right? And in my movie, that's exactly what happens. I became a dating coach to show people how to not run into gold diggers, how not to run into players, and stay safe. And that was good. So after time, I kept thinking of, you know, futuristic scenarios, and it really wasn't about relationships between humans and each other, because beyond the player and the gold digger, there's really nothing else that we could do to be disrespectful to each other, right? Unless you're talking about girls with the dragon tattoo or some R. Kelly stuff, and that's really just advanced player, because a player is pretty much a wannabe pimp, right? So that's it. And I don't even know what the advanced gold digger is. But anyway, I started thinking about technology, and I started thinking about how technology would impact the relationships and sex and all of that good stuff. And I was like, wow, you know, what's the future of robots, right? I wrote this story called The Programmable Man. It was my first erotic story, so it's like the only time that I talk, probably I have the word penis or wet or some stuff like that in a book, right? Or any of my stories. I don't ever get that graphic. But in The Programmable Man, I needed to go there, right? And The Programmable Man was my first erotic, but not really erotic, but it was my first speculation on the future of sex. And I remember when my son was young. My son was born in 2002. So when he was little, 2003, 2002, 2004, 2000, those early 2000s, you're up at night, you find yourself not able to sleep, the baby's crying, all that. And I would go downstairs and watch HBO, because at the time we had HBO. Now that was long before Netflix, right? So I'm watching HBO, and they had pornocopia on there, right? And real sex. And these are some documentary-based shows that take you to all types of places. They took us to a dildo factory. They took us to like blow-up dolls. And this is all in my head, right? And at the time, I hadn't even watched porn in years. I didn't watch porn again until after 50 Shades of Grey. And that's when I found all these, Googleable porn sites. But pornocopia was real interesting. And they made me think, they had J-Lo fake booties, blow-up dolls, and cushion body parts. And I was like, this is out of control, and then I started, after I wrote, the Hip Hop Dating Guide, somebody said, maybe that'll sell in the sex stores, sex toy stores. And I've still never really tapped that market, and I might have missed a real golden opportunity, because I've seen other dating books selling those stores. But when I went to look in the stores, I saw a lot more than what I saw on pornocopia or real sex. And I started to think, dang, what if you apply robotics to some of this sex toy industry and, just upgrade it? Because really it's not hard. Once you get a robot that can answer and respond, you just guide it to answer and respond with relationship questions, or romantic questions and things. And I just played with that. Now, love robots have been in movies. I believe Serenity probably was one of the first ones that brought it back, probably since Blade Runner. And then you had Westworld, you had Humans. What else is another one? I just saw Zone 414. Everybody trashed it, but I love the robots element of it, or the love robots element of it. But none of them really talked about, even Ex Machina, right? She was a robotic sex slave per se, right? Or at least gave you that feel like it could be potentially, she could be a robotic sex slave. But none of them really ever explored the impact of robotic technology on men and women. You know what I'm saying? After watching Pornocopia, I realized, and this was probably the direct inspiration for Programmable Man, was that the female desire for sex toys is far greater than the male's desire for sex toys. I mean, dudes, the blow-up dolls, Vaseline, that's it. That seems like all they got for guys, whereas women, it's not just vibrators. It's a whole lot of productional things and a whole lot of different vibrators, the little bullets, you name it. So it just was interesting to me. So I said, what if they did come up with this technology? Would it be used by more straight women? We're just going to stay with the straight community, because the LGBT, I don't know, and I'm probably going to speculate a little bit about that later. But just to keep it, easy to process, I went with the straight community. So would it be straight women or straight men using these love robots? And I went with straight women. and that would make the male love robot become the driver of the industry. And I was thinking of the split between VHS and Beta, and that was like in the 80s, right? And what made the deciding factor was porn. Porn was on VHS. VHS was a lower quality of tape, but because VHS embraced porn and Beta went to television and newsreels and richer, it cost more because it was better, they kind of faded back. We don't even know what Beta is anymore, we all know what VHS tapes are. So I was like, wow, the sex industry could decide which becomes more popular, which drives the robots. I mean, everybody's thinking of robots as home security. Oh, we got to get a robot for home security. Oh, it's going to protect you. Or house chores. Oh, a robot can clean the floors, can wash the dishes. What you going to use a robot for? Ain't nobody still to this day saying a robot is good for self-pleasure, a form of masturbation. Amazing. And I'm pretty sure the sex industry is thinking of that. And they're probably laughing because they probably say, ain't nobody else thinking of this. But, I think that's going to be a driving force when the robots do come out. Which robot has sex better is going to be the deciding force or deciding factor in which becomes the more popular model. I certainly, if they come out with robots, I'm going to invest in the company that has the best robot love programs, best robot love application. Whatever it is, whichever one is going down that route, mark my words, they're going to be the bigger seller. So in the Programmable Man, at least in the book, they come up with this thing called the Feelings Program. And the Feelings Program, and this is all me creating it, right? Feelings Program turns your love robot your security robot into a love robot, right? And just has an impact on this girl who is a single girl and she can't find a man, or she can't find a satisfactory man, and she gets entertained by this Feelings Program. So I'm not going to tell you that. That's pretty much the setup. It's a short story, has a little quick ending, but the concept or the question of love robots and sex and the impact is amazing, right? So, I know I forgot something. It's amazing because that question could be applied to other scenarios, right? So here's a girl that's single that finds a use for the love robot. Will it keep her using them? Will it be like that boyfriend that turned you out, that girlfriend that turned you out, that, you're the one you marry or you person you decide to be with for the rest of your life always has to compete with? Like, can it be like crack? Like, you need to stop having sex with your robot. I mean, because for all intents and purposes, it can be a lot more engaging than being addicted to porn, because porn is just visual, right? There's nothing touching you in porn. But in a robot love, you got it all the way around. So the addiction can be a lot greater. So, I had a whole book where I was going after the impact of robots on human to human sex, to the point where humans weren't even having sex with each other anymore. They were depositing their sperm in female robots, and the female robots were taking the sperm like a sperm bank and mixing it with a female egg, and the woman would get pregnant, but the humans would never even have to have sex with each other. There was another idea that I had, that maybe the robots would be used to guide young virgins, boys and girls, in how to engage. You could have it be like a gun. A younger child is so sexually curious, she gets to the love robot that the parents have or the father had hiding like a gun. They say, keep your love robots locked up from your kids, right? And the kids get to the child, the girl or the boy gets to the love robot and loses their virginity and starts exploring sexuality with it. Could it save kids from being molested and sexually traumatized by their siblings? Possibly. That's only if people could afford the love robots. But if it's like a laptop, maybe not everybody will even be able to have one. You know what I'm saying? Could there be abuses? Could people start doing wild things to love robots and then develop an addiction to do these things to other humans? I don't know. In my universe, I came up with an organization for human-to-human love because it had gotten so bad. Fast forward even further in the future, in my story, Welcome to Boss Lady's Planet. Boss Lady is raised in a brothel and on a Las Vegas style planet where there's a lot of brothels. They got so bad that they banned love robots because it was putting the human prostitutes out of business. So even the sex industry could be impacted by robots. Why use dildo when you got a dildo you can hug and straddle, right? Golly, you can teach positions. You know what I'm saying? Who will stop, who will start, the rhythm, everything like that, So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out. This is all to promote my comic project on Kickstarter, Cyberfunk Streets. The story Programmable Man is in there. It's another story, Banger Brothers. I'm going to explain that in another video. And The Ass Doctor is the third story. I don't know what order they're going to be in there. And then there's Cyber Bay, who's my love robot mistress, Mastress or whatever. She's my Elvira. She's got a story of her own. So you got 4 stories in there. Anyway, it's on Kickstarter. It's called Cyberfunk Streets. I'm way over time, but it was really good talking to you. I hope I sparked some ideas so you can communicate with me. But like I said, always like, because I need likes. I'm up to 200-300 now. And share. So I'm putting this content out. So like, share, and my most important one is comment. Give me some comments. I know if I was to say this on a panel, people would comment like crazy. So use that thinking to comment on my videos. Thank you very much. All right. Bye-bye.